Okay, this is Hideous Z. We're doing a replay analysis looking at Kennen top versus Darius in Bronze 4. So the first thing to keep in mind when you are a ranged champion versus a melee champion is that you have an immense advantage right off the bat. So already you're giving this Darius way more breathing room than he has any business getting. So you want to be thinking about, no matter what you're laning, no matter what champion you're using, you want to be thinking about every one of these minions, every one of your minions, and every chunk of your health, whatever, anything that Darius wants. So Darius obviously he wants to kill you, and he wants to kill minions. And he wants to maybe some other things too. Maybe he wants to teleport, maybe he wants to throw a ward down. Anything that Darius wants. Okay. You need to charge him for. You need to think of this lane as your supermarket. This is Kennen's CS Superstore. And Darius is your customer, and he's coming into your lane, and he wants your CS. And you need to be charging him for it. So I'm going to back up here a little bit, and we're going to look at this again, and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to back up actually almost to the beginning of the lane phase here. Okay, so one more time. Okay, so minions are just coming into lane. Minions hit turret at 156, so they'll be coming into lane. So you just opened up your CS store, Kennen Super CS store. Here comes your first customer. Darius is coming in. Okay. You've got your products are coming into lane here. So now, as a shopkeeper, you want to be charging Darius as much as you can possibly get away with for everything that he wants. So here he comes. He wants to get an auto attack. Are you going to charge him for it? No. Apparently that auto attack was on sale. It was free. Or he wants the CS. You going to charge him for his CS? Nope, it's free. CS are free today. It's an introductory offer. Okay, so now he wants to get this CS. Are you going to charge him for this one? No. Okay, so, and I'm not harping on you. I just am pointing it out, these opportunities that you have. So up here, I'm going to back up again and just show you how this could have gone better. And this is a mentality you can have throughout the entire lane. So if you look at your minion, or the enemy minions, Darius's minions, the blue ones here, you got this one, this one, this one. These are the ones that are going to be taking most of the fire from the enemy minions. So these are the ones that are going to be probably last hittable first. These are the ones that you need to worry about taking aggro from, because caster minions do more damage and they can do damage from further away. So that's how you need to think about minions. These ones you need to be worried about for damage. These ones are going to tend to be the ones that you need to last hit first, because they take aggro from your minions first. So you got to be thinking about that, because you don't want to give up any CS. So you are keeping an eye on your minions, or on Darius's minions' health. Right now, the lowest one is this guy. He's at half health. It's going to be a little while before this one gets low enough to last hit. It's going to be a few seconds at least. So right now, you don't have anything to do. Like, unless you want to be shoving the lane, which is that's certainly a valid strategy. If you want to shove the lane, you can do that, but you don't need to be last hitting anything else. There's nothing that you have to be doing, because there's nothing to last hit. So why are you all the way back here? There's no reason for you not to be. So your auto attack range is, let's see, Kennen's, I feel like they lowered it at one point. It's 550, which is, that's crazy long. That's longer than, that's as long as most AD carries. That's as long as they get. I think Ash's is also 550. Maybe. I'd have to look that up. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, is a very long auto attack range. So your auto attack range, you know, maybe it comes out to, let's just, for example, let's just say 550 is about here. It's about there. Ish. What's Darius's auto attack range? Darius's, oh, I closed my thing. Darius's auto attack range is like this. You know, he has to get this close. Your auto attack range is all the way out to here or so from where you're standing right now. So for you to be harassing Darius, all you need to do is move up to like here. You move up to about here, you're still completely safe. You're still in range to do any last hitting that you end up needing to do. And you can be auto attacking him constantly. Now, and then you don't want to, now you got to keep in mind that if you do auto attack, that will draw minion aggro. So let's say you move up to here, and you throw out an auto attack at Darius. So here's your auto attack, it hits. These minions, all 3 of these are going to turn and attack you. These ones won't because I think they're out of range. They may aggro you, but I don't think they will. So, but these 3 are going to, and at most you'll take 1 auto attack from these. So these 3 will turn, and they'll get the little aggro sprites above their head, and they'll try to hit you. So but then all you got to do is just so you throw out your auto attack, and then you move over here. These guys will start walking towards you, but they can't do damage to you until they get close. So then you throw out another auto attack. So this is auto attack 1. Then you throw out another one from here. Boom, got him. That's auto attack 2. And then you step into the brush. Step into the brush, that drops your vision, and now the minions aren't auto-attacking you anymore. And then you step out of the brush to here, auto-attack 3. Boom. Bam, bam, bam. So 1, 2, 3 in the space of a few seconds, and you can get all that done basically before you need to last hit this guy. Maybe you have to last hit him in between 2 and 3. But you can hit Darius 3 times before you even need to last hit. And especially as you're stacking up your passive, every 5th auto attack on Kennen does bonus damage and applies a mark. And maybe you can even launch out your Q on the way here, your Thundering Shuriken, and do some extra damage as well. So maybe you'll have an opportunity. You got to depend on where he's at, if he's behind his minions or not. But you might even be able to throw that out there along with it. So you've got 1, 2, 3, and a possible Shuriken that you can hit him. He's down to that gets him down to half health if you can hit him with all 3 of those. Consistently, he's at least starting to chug his potions, and so you've already won the lane. Because from there, then you can continue to pressure, and you last hit, and you can continue to pressure, and you can zone him out. You can, then you just keep walking up, and he has to back off. He can't do anything. He can't attack you. If he walks up to attack you and pull you like he does in a few seconds, if he starts moving towards you, so if you're standing, if you're just standing where you are, for him to get to you to pull you, his pull range, he would have to get to about, he has to get up to about here. Maybe not quite that far. Maybe like here to pull you, right? So he has to walk all the way up to here. So you have, you have all kinds of warning before he's in range to actually threaten you. Especially since I don't think he started pull. He started his Q, which he still has to be about here to damage you. If he wants to auto-attack you, well, obviously he has to come up even further. But if he tries to come up and aggro you, you can be auto-attacking, 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 and then when he finally gets into this range, and then you can be moving back the whole time. You can be auto-attacking him, and then as he's moving towards you, you're kiting back. So he moves towards you. Here he comes. He's stepping towards you, and you see him coming towards you, and so you start to move back this way. Maybe a little bit. What you want to do is you want to keep him in your auto attack range. So if your auto attack range is here-ish, then Darius, as soon as Darius moves into it, or you move so that he's in it, either way, whatever the case, as soon as Darius is inside your attack range, so if Darius is here, your auto attack, Darius is here, so he moved up. So then you auto attack him from here, and then see what he does. If he keeps coming, let's say he moves up to here. So then you move back like this. Now your auto attack range is about here, and you hit him again. And then if he keeps moving forward to here, then you move back to here and hit him again. You see? So 1, 2, 3, and he can never get close enough to you to do damage because you're constantly kiting back. If he decides to go the other way, then you just do the opposite. You move this way and keep auto-attacking until you have something better to do, like last hit, like get a CS. So you want to be charging Darius as much as humanly possible for everything that he wants from your CS store. If Darius wants to buy a CS from you, you want to charge him at least 1 auto-attack, like at least an auto-attack. Ideally, you'd want to charge him 2 or 3 auto-attacks. Since you have such a massive range advantage, you can charge him almost as much as you want. He is subject to your prices. So price gouge him. He wants this CS. Let's see. Let's just kind of move back into the replay here. So if he wants the CS, here he comes. You can see him coming for it. You know what he's going to do because the let's last hit. The minion's low, so you know that's what he's thinking. So he wants this one. You know what he's thinking. You can be charging him. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He's not playing back. He's not playing safe. He moves towards you. You can be attacking him. So you give him so much breathing room here, and that allows him to get a CS lead on you and get an experience advantage on you, because he's going to hit level 2 after this minion. Level 2 happens after the first minion of the second wave goes down, whether it's a melee or caster minion. On a solo lane, that's when it happens. So if he hits 7 minions before you do, he's going to hit level 2 before you do. There's no reason for him to ever hit level 2 before you do. You can always push the lane harder than he can because you're ranged. And so, now that he has hit level 2, now he does have 2 abilities, and now he can potentially threaten you. But if you play it smart, he shouldn't be able to. So now he's level 2. He wants this minion. You still haven't auto-attacked him yet. Still not auto-attacking him. Still not auto-attacking him. You don't even need to be. Oh, yikes! Okay, so now this is just a mechanical error. So you kind of walk over here in range for no reason. I imagine it was a misclick. There's no good reason for you to go over here, so I'm suspecting that was a misclick. So you accidentally wander into his range, which is something you just can never do versus Darius, because he's waiting for you to do that. He wants you to come into his range so he can start really hammering you. So you haven't attacked him once yet, so he's feeling pretty bold. So as soon as you wander into range, he hooks you, pulls you in. Here's a little thing versus Darius. Darius's spin does more damage, so it has 2 kind of damages. It does the haft and the blade damage. So the shaft damage goes out to, you know, something like, I don't know the exact ranges, but it goes out to something like, you know, this far around him, and then the blade damage is, you know, this far around him or so. And so if he pulls you in, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't a little bit. But if you're able to wait just a beat for him, because often if Darius pulls you in, he'll often immediately, maybe he'll spend 1 auto attack and then immediately Q to do his spinning slash thing. So if you can stay up tight on him and not immediately move away, then you can potentially take a little bit less damage from that ability. On the other hand, if you stay close, he'll hit you with auto attacks, and that can often make up the difference. So it's a little bit of a tricky thing, but just be aware that that's how that ability works. Sometimes you can play that to your advantage. So you start to move away. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. Start to move away. He hits you with his Q. Now he hits you with an auto attack. Okay, you cast your W, which is fine. You do a little bit of damage back. You got your 5th auto attack on him. Okay. So this situation right now, though, where you're at half health and having to chug potions and he's at, you know, almost all health, this should be reversed every time. They're finally you. That's the first auto attack you've landed on him. So now you're getting aggressive, but now you're doing it at the expense of CS. So you missed that. You actually missed 1 CS while you were doing that. Okay, so let's look at this now. So this is the 3rd and the 2nd waves here that are grouped up here a little bit, I think. And 30, 2 minutes. And this might be the 4th and 3rd wave. Anyway, so you're at 9 CS and he's at 10. So you're CSing fine. Like, you're doing that well. I mean, overall, you're focusing on CS and you're lasering in on that, and that's really good. You're missing a few that you shouldn't miss, obviously, so there's definitely room for improvement there. But you're doing a good job overall on CSing, so I don't want to like act like you're not doing anything right in this lane. You're just not seeing the opportunities to prevent him from CSing. Plus, you're wandering into his range for no reason. Your auto attack range is longer than the range of that ability, so there's no reason for him to ever be able to hit you with that. This is something you'll just want to work on. It's hard to hit under a turret like that, but when you have all the minions under a turret like this, this is maybe not a good idea to lightning rush it like this, because this lowers them all down a little bit, but it also makes it harder to actually predict when you will the last hit, because you miss the last hit on this guy because you can't auto attack while you're in lightning rush. So you miss that, and then you do get that one, but then you miss that one. So it's kind of either or, but the melee minion is worth more gold, so you should prioritize this over a caster. But now all of these are so low that it's going to be, these 2 are goners, because as soon as the turret attacks them, the turret will one-shot these 2. These ones are in kind of a nice range, because the casters take 2 auto attacks and a turret hit to kill. So ideally you want to hit it with 1 auto attack, let the turret hit it, and finish it with a 2nd auto attack. Early in the game, sometimes you don't have enough attack speed to actually do that. And so being able to get it down to, you know, like shave off that one auto attack's worth of health early on can be really helpful. So this is okay, but just doing that lightning rush is kind of risky because now... So, yeah. So you managed to get a few of them. You didn't miss all of them, but if you'd been a little more patient there, you might have been able to pick up some more. And again, there's just no reason for you to... You know, if you don't know he's not in that bush, he didn't have a really great reason to leave. You know, he wasn't needing to CS up here. He wasn't so low that he needed to leave, so don't assume that he's left. So stay away from the brush. If he might be in there, be careful. So far, Darius has made you pay a lot more for your CS than you have made Darius pay. And as a range versus a melee, particularly as someone with as much range as Kennen has, that should just never be the case. Your threat range is all the way out here. Yeah, so you can do this all day. Do exactly what you did there. That's exactly what you want to do. You can do that 24/7. He can do nothing to you unless he like flashes you, and so you want to be you want to be ready to respond if he does something super aggressive like a flash pull or something, and you have your flash up and stuff, so you can respond to that. But man, you can walk up to him and pressure him out anytime you want, because you can be auto attacking him from almost this range and he can do nothing about it unless he is willing to let you auto attack him 3 or 4 times while he closes the distance to you. So put this much pressure on him as often as possible. There's no reason to give him that much breathing room. Okay, so in all of that, you should be throwing... Now, and this is not going to be a great example of this rule because jungler never showed up. I didn't see if he ganked mid or what he did, or if he's just really behind. But you should be throwing your trinket ward down at about 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And where you are in this lane, you want to be throwing it down. Ideal if you were kind of pushed up here, so so it wasn't a huge deal. But at this point, at about 3 minutes 15 seconds is about when most junglers will be finishing their first camp. So Volibear is really behind. I'm not sure why he's so behind, but that's often going to be the case. And you can see your Amumu is down here ganking. You know, it's 5 minutes, so both junglers are pretty behind. But or behind is when they would normally be ganking. I didn't see if they caused any action mid or not, but anyway, at about 3 minutes 15, 3 minutes 30 or so, most junglers will be finishing their second camp and looking for a lane to gank. So that's about the time that you want to throw your ward down. And then, 2 minutes later, you just want to be constantly warding. If you are pushed up past this spot here, then you want to be warded. So for here, you would ideally have a ward in this brush. If you're going to be pushed up any further, if you're going to pass this kind of midpointed lane, you want to ward in this brush. Both ideally, but at least, depending on where you see the lane going. If you're going to be pushing hard, then throw the ward here. If you're going to try to freeze it here, then throw the ward here, etc. But you want to be throwing your ward down as consistently as possible so that you know how aggressive you can be. Because like I've been saying, you want to be aggressive on Darius. You want to be pushing up on him and aggroing him and auto attacking him and being as aggressive as possible. But the way to punish aggression like that and hard pressure is for the jungler to come up and gank you while you're chasing Darius down to here, and then all of a sudden Volibear comes up and it's a 1v2 and you die. So to enable your aggression, you want to be throwing that ward down as consistently as possible. So we'll look and see how consistently you're buying wards when you go back and stuff here as we go. So overall, you're still doing okay in lane. You're up in CS. You haven't given up a kill. You haven't made any just brutal mistakes. But yeah, so that's a symbol of a mistake though there. Yep, that was pretty good. For what it was, they both used their gap closers, fully through you, and then Darius pulled you, so they didn't stack those very well. And you kind of have an advantage here now because Darius's Ignite is down, but you still have Teleport, so if you need to, you can get back to lane really quickly, and Darius is going to have to walk. But yeah, I mean, in theory, ideally, you would have had a ward here to see that coming. Okay, good. So you bought a pink ward. It's a very little thing here, but if you, and a pink ward, you can, it's kind of nice if you want to just, instead of throwing it here, if you can throw it like here, like right on the edge, because this is harder for, so if Volibear comes up and he's sniffing around, he throws a ward in this brush as he's coming up to gank. So if Volibear was coming up and he throws a ward right here because he's walking past, if he sees your pink ward right here, he can stand right here and kill it. But if your pink ward is here, he has to commit this much further to it to kill it. He has to walk all the way up in here. And him standing here is much easier for you to punish than him standing here. So it's a little thing, but you want to try to maximize all those opportunities you have. So right there, you probably, you don't need to ward immediately like that, because you know Darius is not going to be back to lane anytime soon. You have a point, you have your pink ward, which doesn't matter when you put it down because it lasts forever. But this ward you can probably wait on, because you can look at the lane. You know Darius isn't there, so worst case scenario, if Volibear comes up, it's 1v1, and you can deal with Volibear by himself. So Darius isn't there because he doesn't have teleport, so you know he's not going to be back in lane for a few seconds. And you're looking at the lane, and you're seeing that there you got a cannon minion and 3 casters to your 2 casters, or 3 casters a second ago. So the lane is going to push this way, unless you shove it. If you let it go, the lane will push back this way towards your turret, which is good. That's, I mean, that's often what you want it to do. So if you let it push a little bit and freeze it right here, then you don't really need to throw this ward down quite yet. So this ward will kind of end up being a little bit of a waste potentially, unless you are planning to make some action happen in this chunk of the lane in the immediate future here. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking at the lane phase, the rest of the lane phase here, and then I'm gonna blitz through some of the mid and late game and just look for some examples of maybe some team fight decision making and stuff. But for most students that are in bronze, the lane phase is where there's enough room for improvement just in the lane phase that often it's best to just kind of laser in on that and just to focus on improving your laning mechanics and your laning decision making, because there's enough room for improvement just in those departments that you will see a big increase in your success rate, basically, without even needing to worry about some of the later game stuff. So I'll focus in mostly on this, and then once you've had some time to really work on some of the things I'm talking about here, just in terms of lane pressure and improving your CS mechanics. So again, no reason for you to be that close to him. There's just no reason for it. He wants you to do it every single time. So you have, I mean, if you want to do that, then then just do it. Don't wait for him to pull you. Just go aggressive like that. Ideally you want to stay out of his range until you have a chance to poke him down low enough so that your ult combo and stuff will actually kill him, right? You don't want to have to just cast it and get him to a 3rd health, because now what are you going to do? You don't have your big dangerous combo to really threaten him, and he's going to hit his ult soon. Good. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. This is a kill. This is a kill if you keep pressuring him. Unless he's plays it really safe and smart and stays under his turret, kind of like he's doing right now. So in this situation, think about this now. I'm going to back it up a little bit. Okay, so you got Darius down really low, which is good. You can see him, he's at about a 1/4 health, maybe a little less. So right now, what is like the ideal scenario for you? Or let's look at the other way. What's the ideal scenario for Darius right now? What is he hoping that you'll do? Well, probably he's hoping that you will shove the lane into his turret so that he can farm under turret, because he's thinking, wow, I'm really low, I just went back to base, I don't want to go back to base right away, so I'm just going to sit under my turret and play it safe and farm under turret. So I'll just sit back here and wait for the lane to push and farm there, because Kennen can't kill me under turret because his ult is down. And he's right. If you do that, he will be able to get some CS under turret, and if he plays it smart and you don't land your skill shots, he'll be okay. So he's still taking a risk. It's not super smart, but that's what he's going to do. So you can look at that and probably predict what he's thinking, because if he just goes back and sits under his turret, then that's pretty easy to predict what he's thinking. So you can kind of walk up here and just kind of look and see if he's recalling, or if he's sitting under the turret. If he's recalling, then yeah, you want to shove, because then you want the turret to eat his CS. You want to shove it into the turret so that it eats his CS. If he's sitting here, then he's waiting for you to push the wave to him. And so if that's the case, then you don't want to shove at all. You just want to let this sit. It's going to push because you have more minions. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 versus 5. And so it's gonna take a long time because these minions are low and it's a really close number, so it's gonna take a long time for this to shove all on its own into the turret. You can delay that for a long time, and then Darius just sits here waiting for you to push the minions to him for a long time. He's just sitting here waiting for it and wasting his time and not getting XP and not getting CS while you're sitting up here freezing the lane for as long as possible, CSing to your heart's content. So instead, you don't realize that maybe, or maybe you think he recalled because you don't go check, and so you end up you last hit these two, but then you end up shoving these, and that's kind of like I say, that's kind of exactly what he wants you to do, because now he'll see. Never mind, he doesn't see anything. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. But I guess my point is with all of that is that you want to be able to gather that information to see what Darius is doing so that you can form a strategy around it. Now, instead of just mindlessly pushing the lane no matter what, look and see what Darius is doing, and then think through to what Darius would want you to do in that situation, and then if at all possible do the opposite. So if Darius would want you to push the lane, then freeze the lane. If he would want you to freeze the lane, then shove the lane. You want to try to do your best to understand what it is that your opponent wants, and then try to do the opposite. See, stopping there kills you. You're dead now, I bet. I don't know why he didn't ult you. Okay, you're still dead. Stopping there to auto attack killed you. You were outside of his pull range. You gotta stay outside of his pull range. Okay, big takeaways from the lane phase. You can be pressuring him immensely with your range. You can be using your range to bother him every time he goes to auto attack. You want to make him pay for the CS that he takes. Pay through the nose for the CS that he takes from you. So you don't give him a lot of pressure for the majority of the early lane phase, and you let him get level 2 first. So you want to be staying at your max range, so you're not wandering in to let him attack you. Stay at your max range and be pelting him with auto attacks. Second big takeaway is you got to be more aware of your positioning versus Darius' positioning. He is several times hooked you in, and you just have no business getting hooked in as Kennen. There's just no scenario in which you should be getting hooked in. And unless he is strong enough and has enough items where he can like stand way in front of your CS and prevent you from getting in range to last hit, that's the only situation where you would have to get in his hook range to CS or to get something that you need. Every other scenario, there's no reason for you to ever be in range of his pull, unless you're like going in for an all-in. And if you're pelting him with those auto attacks, like I've been saying, then he'll be low enough that even if he does pull you, you'll be able to kill him because he's at like a third health from all the auto attacks you've hit him with. So those are the two big takeaways: pressure the lane harder, use your range, hit him every time you get a chance. Every time he goes to CS is the time where he's not going to be doing anything else. He's committing a second and a half or so to that auto attack animation to using it on a minion, and you can hit him for that. Anytime that you do not need to be last hitting is a time where you can be doing something else. You can use that time to push the lane and to shove minions harder if you want to, but I would encourage you to try to think more about just adjust your mindset and to start getting in the habit of thinking, if I don't need to be CSing, I can be harassing. You never want to give up a CS for a harass, but you never want to give up harass if you don't, if there's nothing to CS. So be harassing at all times so that when the time comes to actually brawl with him, you already have a significant advantage because you've been poking him down so far. So those are big takeaways. Okay. I'm going to blitz through some of this and just look and see if there's anything else or any other big things to talk about. So again, that's kind of the second time you've used your ult on him when he was at full health to start with, and so you're not able to actually, he's not in kill pressure for you. And so if you spend the time to set that combo up by harassing him, if you get him down to half health before you commit with your ult, then you've got him in lethal range, and your ult will kill him instead of just being a reactive defensive play where your ult just gets him down to half health. Okay, your team is doing good work. You picked up Dragon. That's pretty dangerous. Always at least step into the wave. Or into the brush, I mean. Nice teleport. Good eye. That was a really good look to see that and pick that kill up. That's really important as a top laner with teleport. You always want to be looking for opportunities to move around the map and impact things. I didn't look to see if maybe you could have, should have gone sooner, but for what it was, you saw it and you capitalized, so that's really good. You see that Darius is mid, so in situations like that, you have a choice between do you want to follow or do you want to shove. In this case, since your teleport is down, you can't quickly follow, and so by the time you actually walk down to mid from top, this is probably going to be over. So this is the correct decision to keep shoving. Okay, so now lane phase is over. You are ahead, and your team is ahead. Not by a great deal, but they are. And you definitely won lane phase because you have 2 kills. Darius has 2 kills, but you have 93 CS to his 64. 30 CS is about 2 kills worth of gold. So you're up essentially 4-2 in kills, effectively. And so you have a lot of ability to just pressure him. And anytime this happens, unless you are needed elsewhere, do this. Keep pressuring the lane. Unless there's a better objective to pressure somewhere. Lucky guess. You might have been able to go in on him there, but it would have been a little risky. Okay. So, one thing, if you're ever going to be split pushing like this, where you're split pushing down a lane, you have got to throw wards down on your flanks. This is the best place for a ward if you're pushing this turret. Throw a ward right in this area, because all roads lead through this area. Unless he's coming up through wave and then curving around here. That's the only path he can use that doesn't reveal him if you have a ward right here. You can put it kind of here so that it reveals him if he walks through here. Like this or something. So throw a ward right here, you'll have vision no matter where they come from to try to attack you. If you have 2 wards, which is ideal, you throw one here and here. That way you know you just have the information to make that decision. Should I keep pushing or do I need to back off now? So that death was due to lack of vision. Okay, your team picks up dragon again. That's good. You're going to push in mid, which is fine as well. You want to be constantly pressuring objectives. I don't know why you teleported there. I guess they were turret diving, so that's okay, I guess. Okay. I'm just going to keep listening through this. This video is already kind of long. Okay, good. There's nothing else that's really going on here. This fight is not like in dire... You're much more valuable pressuring objectives here than you would be joining this fight. So this is the right move. While they're all distracted doing whatever it is they're doing bot lane, you guys are taking turrets. That's almost always the right call. Okay. Yeah, you guys are just controlling the map significantly better than they are. Lack of vision. You had no idea where they were. So being back there was kind of risky. Because if you don't know where they are, for all you know, all 5 of them are sitting in this brush. And so for you guys to be back here as 2 people without knowing that all 5 of them aren't in that brush is pretty risky. Okay, nice, nice. In theory, anyway. Okay, I'm gonna go back and look at that. Because that was a nice combo in and of itself. He moved in, ulted, and Sonya's. So the mechanics of that were good. The decision making was maybe a little questionable. Okay, so look at the map situation here. You have a turret that's almost dead. Jinx will kill this in like 3 auto attacks, tops. So this is going to go down really quickly if they just pressure it. They have Veigar, who can put out a lot of just a zone control with his stun. He can just kind of control an area. So if you go in and ult and Veigar, casts a Event Horizon around you, then he kind of cuts off your team from being able to follow up a bit, potentially, depending on where they end up are. So you got to just be aware of that. But looking at the situation, it's you and Braum. Amumu is coming. Ashe might be coming. Nope. So, like, best case scenario, Amumu's going to get here in about 5 seconds or so. So, you choose to go in now. But, like best case scenario, what's going to happen here? Like, you're going to go in, you're going to ult Zhonya's, you're going to get these guys down a little bit. You're not so fed that you can, like, kill these 3 at all. And so, you'll do some damage to them. And your ult is a great teamfight ability because it does some damage and it also stuns everybody that's caught in it. And so it's a great initiation move that stuns people. But the stun is only nice because it allows your team to easily follow up. But this turret's about to go down. It's not going to do much more damage. Ashe is nowhere nearby at all. And Amumu isn't even really in position to follow up. He's probably thinking, we just need to fall back to this turret because this one's going down. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. So you ult, but there's no follow-up. All you have is Braum. Braum's not going to kill anybody. So you're going to get these guys down to however much health. Not that much, since you're not really that built. You're doing fine, but you're not super fed or anything. And now you come out of Zhonya's. They're still all basically fine. Jinx wasn't hurt at all. Neither was Veigar. And the only person that was in position to follow up at all was Braum. And he can't do any damage. So you get deleted. Now your team is in position. If you had gone now, then you're looking at maybe a pretty good team fight. Potentially. Yasuo was dead, so even then you probably wouldn't have wanted to go because the turret was down. If you can do 4 plus a turret in a team fight, then sure. But since that turret was going to go down, the smart move was to back off to here and make them push this turret. Because then Ashe comes up and Amumu was in position. And then if you go in, you've got Braum ults on cooldown, so not that. Amumu ults on cooldown, yeah. So there actually was just no situation in which that was a good time to team fight. None of your abilities were up, none of your team's abilities were up. So you can glance at the portraits on the left-hand side of the map and just the screen and see if the green lights are lit up. If not, if your big team fight abilities are not up, then not a good idea. Yasuo was down, so it was 4v5 no matter what. So even if that turret was fully alive, it would have been probably not a great time to go in because no one had the abilities to follow up. So your team was not in position to follow up. They didn't have the abilities off of cooldown to follow up. The turret was down so low that it wasn't going to be able to support you much. And you were at a disadvantage in numbers. So all of those factors, honestly, even any one of those factors is enough of a negative situation where the better move would have just been to fall back here. Because this turret was going down pretty much no matter what, so instead of just giving them a turret, you gave them a turret and a kill. When instead you could have denied them the kill and just gave them the turret, which they were going to get anyway. So, just a decision-making thing there. You want to glance at the map, you want to take stock of the situation before you commit to an action like that. So that you don't get caught in a, kind of in a suicide situation where you're just wasting your life and your cooldowns. Okay. Moving on. Seems like you guys aren't respecting Veigar's burst very much. Yep, he got you again. More vision, more respect for Veigar's threat range. You gotta be thinking, what can Veigar do if he's sitting in this bush? How can I avoid getting murdered? Do I know where he is, if not? So that... I think your team just picked up Dragon. Well, maybe not. Okay. So... right now you push up this lane to split push this turret. But you gotta be thinking, like, what else is going on the map right now? You know, is this really a good time to be pressuring this turret so hard? You have the wolf spirit, I guess, but you don't really have any vision control of this jungle, so you don't know, you don't have a good warning that Darius is coming up. No, this is their wolf spirit, so yeah, you have no vision in this jungle, so you had no idea who was coming up to deal with you. There's not really that much else going on the map. Jinx is pushing this, but she's alone. So, I mean, you know for a fact that Jinx can't be there. And you know that these two can't be there. But you saw Sona, but you don't know where Darius is. So right now, there's nothing, like, these guys aren't pressuring anything. So there's no reason for them to, like, collapse or be yelling at each other to group up as 5 and defend an objective here. So these 3 aren't really creating much pressure yet. They maybe will be in a few seconds when they're pressuring this. But there's no, like, 4-alarm red flag going up on the enemy team saying group here, group mid, they're pushing. You know, right now it's just like there's 3 mid, there's nothing really to worry about right now. We'll just kind of, you know, slow them down and harass for while we fall back here. They're not pressuring an objective, they're not going to threatening anything important. Up here, again, same deal. They're pressuring you, not the other way around, so Jinx has no reason to worry. You know, she'll see Ashe and just leave. Whereas, so right now, you are the most interesting thing on the map right now because you're attacking an objective. So the enemy team is going to be talking to each other or pinging this, ping, go stop Kennen, go stop Kennen. You know where these 2 are, you know where this one is. You did not know where Darius was, so you have to assume that he's coming up to try to deal with you. And you didn't predict that, and you didn't see that coming, and so you end up having to burn flash, and then they end up chasing you down and killing you. So 2 mistakes: lack of vision control, so you're not picking up wards and you're not throwing them down on your flanks as you're split pushing. And I know that, you know, normally you'd be able to upgrade your yellow trinket. Right now that's disabled. So normally the yellow trinket is the beautiful thing because you have 2 wards for free that you can throw down as you split push. But since it's disabled, you need to be disciplining yourself to buy green wards to make up for that. And then even without the vision, though, this was fairly easy to predict that Darius was likely going to be coming up to deal with you. So unless you see him pop out somewhere else on the map, if you see him walk into here, you have to assume that he's right here waiting for you to overcommit so that he can come in and kill you. Okay, moving on. Okay, that was pretty heads up. So teleport there and finish that objective off after the fight. Okay, guys, good. You win a nice team fight. Good, you're moving to pressure. That's really good. I'm really pleased to see that you moved to pressure an additional objective, in addition to the one that your team is already going to be able to secure easily. Okay, you move down to a team fight here. Okay, right now you can be thinking Baron, yep, good. And that's going to basically be game. You guys are going to push in and win one more fight, then win the game. I'm guessing. Or they'll surrender or something, either way. Yeah, nicely done. Okay, so overall you did a number of really good things in this game. You CS'd pretty well in the early lane. You made some really good map movements. You looked like you're looking to pressure objectives pretty well. So, you know, as opposed to just looking for fights and as opposed to just mindlessly pressuring the same thing that your team is pressuring. So that's really good to see. I'm really pleased to see that. The big things, the things I mentioned in laning phase, if you can improve your lane phase, you will come out of lane phase significantly stronger than you did and be able to, you won't have this 4 and 8 thing because you'll be so much stronger coming out of late phase. This will be more like a 6 and 4 or an 8 and 4 because those, you know, those deaths won't be deaths because you'll be so much further ahead than you were in the mid game. So you keep up that last hitting. Don't drop off last hitting because you're doing pretty well with that. So keep up the good work there, but add in harassing. Add in, look for every opportunity to punish Darius, for being melee. Every opportunity to do that with a ranged champion, whether it's Kennen or Quinn or whoever you're playing that's ranged. Look to punish constantly. Okay, cool. So between those two things, if you can improve that laning phase pressure, like I talked about toward the beginning of the video, and then I talked about a couple other things, just decision-making things. This is, you have some pretty straightforward areas to just improve your game in. And once you've had a chance to work on that, it would be really cool to see another game of yours down the road a little bit, and see the improvement that you made, and we can start talking about some of the next steps, some of the more advanced stuff. So thanks for the opportunity to take a look at the game. I really appreciate it, and I hope it helps. Best of luck.